Greetings from Villa Manuales. I'm staying at the Hospitale Doña Ruth. The place has a wonderful hot shower, and Doña Ruth cooks wonderfully delicious home-cooked meals, so I'm staying here a couple of days longer than I had planned. So I figured it'd be a good chance to make this video showing how I'm packing the bike. Full disclosure, all the Ortlieb bags and Big Agnes camping products were provided to me by the respective companies. So don't consider this a review. Consider this more of an overview of what I'm using and how I'm packing it on the bike. Anything else, unless I say otherwise, I've bought with my own money. Let's start with the racks. Ortlieb US is also the distributor for the Tubus Racks company. And so they provided me with the Logo Evo rack in the back and the Grand Expedition rack in the front. Tubus also makes this rack in a titanium version. I would have loved to have gotten that to match my titanium bike, but the titanium version, Liviano, is also 3 times the price, so I didn't quite have the guts to ask for it. For both of the racks, I hand cut and zip tied Coroplast corrugated plastic sheets to form mud guards. Now that I used it for the rear, I wish I would have extended the tail a little bit longer to catch more of the grit coming off from the road. But that's something you learn from doing it. For the main triangle of the bike, I am using the Ortlieb frame pack top tube, the 4-liter version. Ortlieb gave me the 3-liter version as well as the full-size frame pack that fits the entire triangle. For the length of the trip that I'm taking, I felt the 3-liter was too small for this, and the full-size frame pack I would have loved to use, but given the strong winds that I'm going to encounter the further south I go in Patagonia, I've heard a lot of people say that it acts like a sail, the frame pack, and with the side winds, it'll be difficult controlling the bike. So I opted for the 4-liter version, which will allow the winds to pass through. And so this is where I carry various knick-knack stuff, journal, extra battery, extra fuel, volet straps, the little stuff that I need relatively quickly. With the frame pack, it's the roll closure, not the zip closure. So it's one of those things where you fold the bag 3 times to close it. And it's kept closed with these rubberized tabs. Not quite as fast as, say, a zipper would be, but it's less point of failure. So there's security in that. Here at the top tube, I have the fuel pack, which is 1 liter. It's held closed by magnets, so it's really easy to access, get in and out of. This is obviously where I'm going to stash my on-the-bike nutrition, Cliff bars, nuts, etc. Okay, moving to the cockpit, as you can see, it's kind of crowded here. The Ortlieb handlebar pack is used to carry the sleeping pad, the pillows, the rain gear jackets that I need quick access to. And the accessory pack is carrying various knickknacks, extra glasses, maps, painkillers, Advil, little stuff that I need, notebook, and so on and so on. And then I have the aero bar, not used for speed, but really more for comfort, to use a secondary position on the bike. And so that kind of makes the place a little more crowded than I would like, but it's also helpful for the long stretches when I need to be in a different position. For the water bottle cages, I'm using a handlebar mounted water bottle holders. And it works really well because it's hard to control the bike with all the bags loaded on it. And so it's easier to access the water bottle just by having it right next to your hands as opposed to reaching down in the lower part of the triangle. On the left aero bar is where I've mounted the phone mount so that I could have ready access to the map for podcast and music that I'm listening to while I'm cycling. On the left side of the bike, I've strapped the Big Agnes copper spur. It's a high volume ultralight 2 bikepacking tent with volet straps. And also on the side of it is where I hang the Garmin InReach Mini 2 satellite messenger. And as you can see, I've strapped the Insta360 X4 video camera onto the front rail of the Grand Expedition front rack so that while I'm riding I could reach over and raise the camera in position to film and then push it down out of the way. Okay, so onto the panniers. For the rear pannier, I'm using the back roller free, which is 20 liters in size, and the free version designates it as PVC free. As I mentioned in an Instagram post, the panniers come in pairs, so the left side I put stickers on so that I could easily know which side is which. So this bag contains the clothes. The other side, one without the sticker, it contains the various stuff, my MacBook, the Wacom tablet for retouching, batteries, cables, toiletries stuff and all that. Because that this is carrying more electronic stuff, it's heavier than the other bag which contains only clothes. So the consequence of that is that when I'm riding, there's a bit of a wobble in the steering because of the weight imbalance. So I'm trying to figure out a way to equalize the weight. And so I've been thinking about that, trying to redistribute how I pack. For the front, I'm using the pair of gravel pack panniers, which come in at 14.5 liters each. The one with the sticker here goes again on the left side, and this holds the sleeping bag as well as extra food that I'm packing. The gravel pack pannier that goes on the right side contains all the food stuff: pasta, Cliff Bars, packages of nuts. And again, kind of because of the way it just turned out, the way I packed it, the bags that go on the right side is heavier than the bags on the left side. So again, there is a weight imbalance and there is a wobble in the steering as a result. In addition to the 2 water bottles that I'm carrying with me in the front, I also have with me a 48-ounce Nalgene bottle to carry extra water. I find that this kind of pretty much is good for one day. If I'm cooking, the 48 ounce of water will be used up by, say, making the pasta and a mug of tea. And this is carried here on the rack, tied in by a volet strap. The Big Agnes Skyline ultralight chair I carried on the front rack, tied in by, of course, a volet strap. The volet straps are very utilitarian, very useful, and they're kind of like the unsung workhorse of this whole endeavor. Very helpful and very useful. The 8-track bag that contains all the media gear, the cameras, and the strobe system, they go in the back. It is laid perpendicular to the bike, and it is tied in with a volet strap like so. This is where I wish the Logo Evo rack was wider, for a wider platform to hold the pack. But I don't know, many people may not have such a need. What I found is that if I have the pack without the panniers, then there's nothing to support it on the bottom side, so it'll slide off. If I try to strap it on in line with the bike, then again, the platform isn't wide enough, so it'll fall off to the side. This bag that contains the tripod, the light stand, and the light modifier, the lantern, is strapped onto the top of the 8-track bag with these accessory straps. In line with the bag for the light modifier, I have a pair of these bamboo sticks that I use as, say, a hiking stick, or a stick, as you can see here, used to prop up the bike when I'm off the bike. So I just slide it on the accessory straps in line with the gray bag. Finally, the last thing that goes on the bike are these pogie gloves. I was hipped onto these by Path Less Pedaled YouTube channel, where the host, he claimed that this was the best purchase that he had made. He has a different manufacturer version. And so what this is that this goes installs onto the handlebar like so. It's like a wrap around the handlebar, so your hand slips in. And what it does is that it creates a pocket of warm air for your hands. And I found that he was correct. He was right. This is much better than wearing gloves, because the gloves that I was using would get thoroughly soaked. And also you have the issue with wearing gloves and not having a direct contact with the bars and the losing of the sensation as a result. Whereas with pogies, I don't know how to pronounce it, you don't have to wear gloves. You put your hand in there. It's protected from the rain and the wind, from the elements. You have direct contact with handlebars and the shifters, and it works better than gloves. I have not really worn gloves in all the days that I've been riding in the rain once I put this on. Okay, so this is how I'm packing the bike for the Chile bikepacking trip. Altogether, this is about shade under 100 pounds, 45 kilos. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you would pack the bike differently. Well, thanks for watching. Okay, see you next time.